Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the chilling real-life stories that inspired some of the most famous horror movies. Get ready to be spooked. We all love a good scare, the adrenaline rush, the feeling of being on the edge of our seats. But what happens when the line between fiction and reality blurs? When the stories we thought were just figments of someone's imagination turn out to be rooted in something all too real? Join me as we peel back the layers of cinematic terror and uncover the true events that breathed life into these iconic horror films. Trust me, you'll never watch these movies the same way again. Picture this, 1949 Maryland, a seemingly ordinary house shrouded in an unsettling silence. Inside, a 14-year-old boy named Roland Doe, or Robbie Mannheim as he's known in some circles, becomes the epicenter of a terrifying ordeal. It begins subtly. Strange noises, objects moving mysteriously. Then the boy's behavior takes a sinister turn. Foul language, violent outbursts, and unnerving detachment from reality. The family, devout Catholics, suspects something deeply wrong, something beyond the realm of medical explanation. Their fears lead them to the church, to the ancient ritual of exorcism. Imagine the scene: flickering candlelight, the boy strapped to a bed, his body contorting in ways unimaginable, his voice transformed into a guttural rasp, spewing blasphemies that chilled everyone to the bone. The priests, armed with holy water and prayers, battled for the boy's soul. Days turned into weeks, the air thick with fear and the stench of something unholy. The entity, they claimed, was demonic, its grip on the boy relentless. The details of the exorcism, documented in diaries and eyewitness accounts, are the stuff of nightmares. Furniture moving violently, the boy levitating, deep scratches appearing on his skin, marks of the devil himself, some whispered. This terrifying ordeal, shrouded in secrecy and whispered rumors, became the inspiration for William Peter Blatty's novel and the subsequent film, The Exorcist. While the film took creative liberties, the core of the story, the raw terror of a family battling an unknown evil, remains deeply unsettling, a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened. 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York, a seemingly idyllic Dutch colonial home harboring a dark and bloody secret. It was here, in 1974, that the DeFeo family was brutally murdered, each member shot in their beds. A year later, the Lutz family moved in, unaware of the horrors that transpired within those walls. What followed was a terrifying 28-day descent into a nightmare. Cold spots, foul odors, swarms of flies in the dead of winter. The house seemed to exude an oppressive, malevolent energy. The Lutz children claimed to see red eyes glowing in the darkness, their laughter replaced by terrified whispers of unseen presences. George Lutz, the father, woke each night at 3:15 a.m., the time of the DeFeo murders, a chilling reminder of the horrors that stained the house. Kathy Lutz, increasingly disturbed by vivid nightmares and a feeling of being constantly watched, discovered the house's dark history. Panic and fear gripped the family, their dream home transformed into a prison of terror. The priest called in to bless the house, Father Ray Pecoraro, claimed to have been slapped, scratched, and even levitated by unseen forces. His chilling account, marked by fear and a sense of overwhelming evil, fueled the growing legend of 112 Ocean Avenue. Driven to the brink by the relentless paranormal activity, the Lutz family fled their home, leaving behind their possessions and a chilling tale that continues to fascinate and terrify. The Amityville Horror, both book and film, captured the public's imagination, turning a seemingly ordinary house into a symbol of unimaginable terror. But the question remains, was it truly the spirits of the murdered DeFeo family seeking revenge, or something far more sinister, lurking beneath the surface of that seemingly peaceful suburban home? Imagine a sprawling farmhouse in rural Rhode Island, its isolation both alluring and unsettling. This was the home of the Perron family in the 1970s, a family soon to be terrorized by something ancient and evil. Carolyn, the mother, bore the brunt of the paranormal assault. Scratches appeared on her body, unseen hands pulled her hair, and disembodied voices whispered threats in the dead of night. The children, too, experienced the horrors firsthand, their innocent games interrupted by chilling encounters. One entity, Bathsheba, emerged from the darkness, a malevolent spirit with a twisted history. A suspected witch who had met a gruesome end, her presence clung to the house, her rage focused on Carolyn. Objects moved on their own, doors slammed shut with bone-jarring force, and the stench of rotting flesh permeated the air, a constant reminder of the unseen horrors lurking within the walls. Enter Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators, their arrival a beacon of hope for the terrified family. Their investigations revealed a history steeped in darkness, a tapestry of witchcraft, murder, and suicide woven into the very fabric of the house. The Warrens, armed with crucifixes and holy water, confronted the entities, their battles documented in chilling detail. The house pulsed with malevolent energy, a battleground between good and evil. The Conjuring, inspired by the Warrens' case files, brought the Perron family's terrifying ordeal to the big screen, reminding us that even in the quietest corners of the world, darkness can take root and fester. Our dreams, those ethereal landscapes where our deepest fears and desires collide. But what happens when those dreams turn into nightmares, bleeding into our waking lives with terrifying consequences? In the early 1980s, Southeast Asia was gripped by a terrifying phenomenon. Seemingly healthy young men, refugees from the Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia, began dying in their sleep. They shared a chilling, symptom-vivid nightmares of a shadowy figure, a burn-scarred man with razor-sharp claws. These men, haunted by the horrors they had witnessed during the Cambodian genocide, were psychologically scarred, their sleep plagued by night terrors. But these weren't just nightmares. The men died in a state of utter terror, their bodies shutting down, their minds trapped in a waking nightmare. Doctors were baffled, unable to explain the sudden deaths. Some whispered of bangungot, a Filipino term for a syndrome where a person, often a young male, dies in their sleep from nightmares. This terrifying phenomenon, the merging of real-life trauma and unexplained deaths, captured the imagination of a young filmmaker named Wes Craven. He saw a story in the suffering of these men, a story about the power of fear to transcend the boundaries of sleep and invade our waking reality. A Nightmare on Elm Street with its iconic villain Freddy Krueger was born. Krueger, a manifestation of guilt and repressed trauma, stalked his victims in their dreams, a terrifying embodiment of the horrors that lingered long after the waking world had faded away. The film resonated with audiences, tapping into our primal fear of the unknown, of the darkness that lurks at the edge of our consciousness. It reminded us that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we create ourselves. The year is 1957, rural Wisconsin. A seemingly unremarkable farmhouse stands isolated against the bleak landscape, but behind its walls lived a man named Ed Gein, a name synonymous with unimaginable horror. Gein was no ordinary killer. He was a grave robber, exhuming corpses from local cemeteries, his fascination with the female form twisting into a macabre obsession. He fashioned trophies from their skin and bones, creating a house of horrors that shocked even the most hardened investigators. Newspapers ran sensationalized accounts of Gein's crimes, painting him as a real-life bogeyman. The public was both repulsed and captivated by the gruesome details, a morbid curiosity gripping the nation. Enter Robert Bloch, a young writer drawn to the dark side of human nature. He saw in Gein's story a terrifying exploration of isolation madness and the suffocating grip of a mother's love gone wrong. Bloch's novel Psycho introduced the world to Norman Bates, a motel owner trapped in a twisted relationship with his mother, even after her death. The book, a chilling study of psychosis and repressed desires, became a bestseller, its themes of voyeurism and violence resonating deeply with a society grappling with its own dark undercurrents. Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, brought Psycho to the big screen, forever etching Norman Bates and the Bates Motel into the annals of horror cinema. The film's iconic shower scene, a masterpiece of editing and psychological terror, became a cultural touchstone, its visceral impact a testament to the power of tapping into our deepest fears. Ed Gein, the inspiration for Norman Bates, may have died in an institution, his crimes a distant memory, but the legacy of his horrors lived on, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can fester in the human heart, waiting for the right moment to erupt. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more spine-chilling content. See you next time. We've journeyed into the heart of darkness, peeling back the layers of fiction to reveal the terrifying truths that inspired some of horror cinema's most iconic films. But remember, these stories serve as a chilling reminder that sometimes, the most terrifying monsters aren't the ones lurking in the shadows, but the ones residing within us, waiting for the right moment to unleash their terror. Sleep tight!